Mark Atkinson here, Speedy Cheese Racing. Wanted to tell you a little bit about BMW Alpha Bike. So, maybe 2-3 years ago, I raced that Yamaha RD400 on the salt flats. Every winter I build a new engine for it. So in 2015, I think it was 15, we rained out on the salt flat. So I had the Bonneville salt flats. So I had a bike ready to go. So I needed a project for the winter, and I thought, you know, maybe it's time to evolve from regular cafe bikes and things that I've done for years and do something just kind of out there. So my father had posted a rendering of the Alpha bike on my Facebook page, and I just immediately fell in love with it. Now, growing up on the salt flats, a streamliner was completely normal to me. So in my mind, from my reference point, I saw it and saw it exactly what it was for, and the beauty in it, and just the exquisite classic lines, and just it was just spectacular. So, and I only say that because I know that people have seen it now that don't have that streamliner reference point, look at it and think, what is this crazy thing? But, so just to give you a little background there. So anyway, my dad posted the picture of this, and I decided it needed to come to life. So I contacted Mehmet, I was friends with on Facebook, and I sent him a message. And I sent him another message saying, I want to build this thing. This is not, I'm not goofing around here. This is a serious deal. I want to build this. Somebody's got to bring this to life. And he would never answer my messages. So I figured, you know what, I'm building it anyway. So I went ahead and finished off the chassis and got to the body and thought, oh, it's weird. I'm not stealing anybody else's ideas. I'm not taking anybody else's thing. So I figured, well, I'm going to call out Mehmet one last time, and if he doesn't get on board, I'll finish it and I'll just design my own body for it. Which, I'm great at making something real. I don't have the imagination to come up with the initial lines. It's not in me. So I know where my talents are, and I'll leave those talents to somebody else, somebody smarter and more creative, I guess. I don't know. But, so I called Mehmet out one last time on Instagram, translated my message into Turkish, because he lives in Istanbul, Turkey, and translated into Turkish and called him out on Instagram. And finally, he responded to my messages and got on board with the project. And I asked him later, why didn't you respond to any of the other messages I sent? He told me, people ask me all the time, to build my projects, and nobody ever comes through. You're completely insane to have gone as far as you have. So that's, I guess, a whole other thing. Now we've become really good friends, and we're starting on the next concept bike when I get time. Going racing, leaving this afternoon for the salt flats to go racing again. Hopefully go really fast. But let me show you some of the features of this crazy thing. So being a machinist, I kind of relied on my talents and the 30 years of experience and machined a huge amount of this. So the entire frame, if you can see, that goes down and attaches underneath the transmission is all machined billet aluminum. The front wheel assembly is a center hub steering mechanism that pivots on the shaft, so that it's not a traditional steering system that would, like a regular motorcycle, the whole front end turns. It's just the wheel. And it's linked together, and it steers by hydraulic steering, so it's got a double action cylinder up here that's attached to the bars, and the same cylinder inside the hub that activates. So it's actually two totally separate systems, which are a bear to bleed, which is something I need to do today, in fact. And then we just, going back, this assembly, this linear actuator rolls that rocker arm up and pushes the whole front end of the bike up so I'm able to ride it. So it raises up maybe 3 inches or something, which actually gives me quite a bit of lean angle, although, you know, this really isn't a rider. I mean, if you look around the shop, I got lots of motorcycles to ride to the grocery store, so this is just entirely for fun and design exercise. So the engine is a BMW K75, which they made from, I think, like early 80s to about 2000, I don't know, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, so this is the 3-cylinder version, which is a 750. Of course, we had to add the turbocharger because everything needs forced induction. The rest of it is just a conglomeration of bits and pieces. The rear wheel is a GS 1100 that I machined the hub and had to recenter everything because it wasn't really designed for this chassis, this arrangement. The swing arm I extended 8 inches just to get the proportions right. I tried to follow Mehmet's design as closely as I could. We deviated a little bit. Let me put this down. And this down. I deviated a little bit from the original drawings, but I tried to keep it as close as possible. So the nose is a little bit different than it was originally, and the seat ended up having to be a little bit different because we used the swing arm, a single-sided swing arm, instead of a standard double-armed swing arm. So the seat arrangement changed and a couple other little things, but overall the lines are about as close as you can get. I had, when I was making the plug for this body, which you just shape out of insulation and body filler until you get the shape. I sanded on it for, it was like 3 months. It took me 8 gallons of body filler because I couldn't get it exactly right. And so I would work on it and work on it and work on it and send Mehmet, Mehmet Doruk Erdem is the designer's name. I don't think I covered that earlier. And I would send him pictures. And he, of course, he's in Turkey, halfway across the world. And he would say, I think it looks good, but maybe take a little bit, a little less rounded here and a little bit more off here. So I would reskin it all with body plastic and I would start sanding on it. So I'm super happy with how close it is and how well it came out. But it was a monumental amount of work to get there. I think that probably covers it.